Hey guys, it's Mr. Ortiz. Welcome to our next video. This is for our sixth graders, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a little space here to do a little op art drawing. It's a really good skill. It ties into our value scale, and the difference is we're going to be using a little bit of color. So today's the setup. To complete this, what you're going to need is a number 2 pencil, a black marker, and a straight edge of some sort. So I have a ruler. It doesn't need to be a ruler. It could be at the edge of a notebook, any kind of book, anything that you can use that's got a nice straight edge on it that you can trace. All right, so to get started, what I want to do is I want to create a rectangle in the middle of this space here. I don't want to use the whole piece of paper. It's just a lot of space to fill in, and something inside this would be great. I'm not really measuring anything. I'm just going to get pretty close to the edges here. I am going to try to keep everything nice and straight though. So whenever I use a straight edge, I'm looking at my edge of the paper and I'm keeping the angle consistent. So I'm going to slide this down. I don't know, maybe about there somewhere. I will put some ends on, so I will line this up with this edge, draw that line, same thing over here. Make sure I'm maintaining that angle. And then I'm going to very, very lightly draw a line through the center. It doesn't have to be perfect. Lightly, we will erase that, so we want to keep it nice and light. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make five stretched out S shapes. So here's the letter S. So I'm going to kind of imagine that this has been pulled straight a little bit. So I'm going to start over here on the end, and I'm going to put my S shape. I'm going to do another one. This one's going to be backwards. So imagine this shape going the other direction. So I'm going to leave some room in here. Maybe over here. It doesn't have to match up with the other one. Not perfectly. And I'll do a third one. Get a little crazy with it. So this is back to forward. So I have forward, backwards, forwards. Guess what's next? You got it. Backwards, forwards. I get a little crazy over there. So there's 5 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to make these shapes look like they're bulging out. So I will use, let me show you a little trick I use. So if I asked you to draw a smiley face, I think everyone could pretty easily draw a little smiley face. So over here I'm going to draw 5 smiley faces. So this one, this is my normal smile. This one is sort of meh. This one at the end here, this is really smiley. Big old smile on that guy. Now on this side, I'm going to do a little sad face. So this is sort of sad. Kind of like this happy face here. And lastly, a very sad face. So the reason I like this is because when I'm trying to ask people to draw curves, sometimes people think a little too hard about it. But if I say draw a smiley face, that's easy. So if I was looking at these curves, so forget the eyes, forget the circle, look at the curves of the smiles. If I said, you know what, I want you to find the biggest, smiliest smile and use that as a curve, I think you'd be able to do that. So I'm going to look at my drawing here, and I have this middle line. And what I'm going to do is everything below the middle is going to be one of these really big smiley faces. I'm going to start over here. I find it easier to start somewhere in the middle. So I'm going to put a big smile here. And then I'll do another one. I'm doing another one. Maybe I'll run out of a little bit of room, so I will just imagine what happens here and then come back up. And I'll just continue. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to keep going. I don't need to match them up. You can if you want to. I find that to be a little tricky, so I will try to get these big smiles in here. The bigger the smile, the rounder this is going to look. Run out of, well, maybe I just made that one. Go. I'm even going to do the ends here that may be a little bit cut off. So this side, and then finally, yeah, these are kind of cut off. That's the bottom. The top is the opposite. So that's these really sad looking frowns over here. You can already see these shapes are suddenly popping out. I don't like to consider this a project because this is really a skill that I want you to learn about how to shade and color to really take this round blobby shape and push it a little further. So I'll show you that in the next video. But for now, I'm going to just add in the rest of these little sad faces here. And I should have something that looks like that. If that's confusing, if the sad faces are throwing you, hey, you can always turn them around and do them as happy faces. Just make sure that the center, the two smile and sad face face each other. And then what you can do is this. You can erase that center line. We don't need it any longer. We just wanted to make sure we save that space. And don't even worry about fixing that. What we're going to do is we're going to go grab our Sharpies or our black markers, and we're going to go over the lines we just completed. Don't worry if you don't get them exactly on the same line as the pencil. Fix those in a minute. And lastly, I will include the frame. If you didn't get right on the lines and you see some pencil peeking out here and there, take your eraser, just go in, erase any pencil you see. Continue to draw your lines lightly so that makes erasing that much easier. And we are set and ready for color. Next video is going to be how to add color in here and make these shapes look like they're popping out even further.